Hey, what's going on, my broskies? Today I want to talk a little bit about the future of Battlefield 1 and my predictions about the game after the release of Battlefield 5. So as you all know, this is an interesting year for first-person shooter fans. We have the release of Insurgency Sandstorm and the future releases of World War III and Battlefield 5. There is going to be plenty of options available this year for all of those gamers, but what will happen to Battlefield 1? Battlefield 1 was probably the climax of all the Battlefield hype because it brought all these cool aspects to the first-person shooter genre. It brought incredible levels of destruction, insane graphics, behemoths that can aid in victory, new game modes, and an interesting take on World War I. But even with all these features, it still suffers from many problems such as explosion spam and especially empty servers. And this will all contribute to the downfall of Battlefield 1. Now to the details. When was the last time you hopped onto Battlefield 1? Probably very recently or not at all, right? But when was the last time you could find occupied servers for all the game modes available in the game? Or when was the last time there was a server open for your favorite DLC? Maybe your answer is recently, but how often does this really happen? It feels as though the player base of the game has exponentially declined, which it has. Game modes such as Frontlines or the other one about pigeons are pretty much non-existent, and if you liked either of those game modes, you're short out of luck. Or if you bought the DLCs and wanted to play Operations on In the Name of the Tsar or some other DLC, good luck to you. The only game mode I really cared for was Operations, and there are typically only about a few servers open for it. Almost none of them are In the Name of the Tsar, my favorite DLC. Maybe for a short while these game modes and DLCs were popular, but seemingly out of nowhere people stopped playing them. Maybe it was because I didn't play the game for an entire year, but I can tell for a fact something has changed. Players just stopped playing. And with the coming release of all these new incredible games, Battlefield 1 will become an empty game. Looking at BattlefieldTracker.com, you can see the sharp decline in players since launch, which happens to all games, but here in particularly, it seems to be incredibly high, with roughly 100,000 players leaving the game. Now this leads me to my prediction. With the coming release of all these new games, players will move on from Battlefield 1. It's not rock solid enough to keep people playing, and it's not popular enough for people to stick with the game like they stuck to Skyrim or Battlefield 4. The game just got too repetitive, with every server being Conquest and usually the same maps. Everyone beat the game in a sense, and now Battlefield 5 is coming. People are saying that Battlefield 5 will be a huge failure, but I disagree for a few reasons. It's Battlefield. People will buy it just for that reason alone. World War II is a much more popular genre than World War I, and I can see tons of people lining up to play a high-quality World War II game. We don't really know what to expect in Battlefield 5, but I think the overall feel of the game will resemble Battlefield 1 to an extent, in which everyone playing Battlefield 1 will just move on to Battlefield 5 or some more modern shooters. Even if the pre-orders are low, I think once people see the actual game, they will start purchasing the game. The gameplay looks like it'll be a really epic game, and I love how they made the game more squad-based and tactical. My only concern for the game is the atmosphere and explosion spam. The customization seems like it has gone a bit too far, with the bionic hands, an insane variety of uniforms and face paints. It will definitely hurt the atmosphere of the game, and make it feel more like a shooter with a World War II theme, rather than a World War II shooter. I like how they'll let you customize your character, but honestly, if everyone looks so different, it's going to be really hard to tell who's friendly or who's enemy, and everyone will just look like crazy people running around with guns rather than actual soldiers fighting in World War II. But I'm sure the developers are working this out and eventually will improve the atmosphere of the game. Other than that, I will hold my money until I see some actual gameplay, but Battlefield 1 isn't worth another dime. I'm glad I didn't buy any of the DLCs because it would have just been a complete waste. The game, guys, it's gonna die. It's happening. All right, there's nothing you can do about it. Save your money, kids. You'll need it for college. Trust me. Until then, guys, this is your broski or your bro or neither of those. But hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you agree. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in whatever video I make next. Peace.
There's ammo! Ammunition for you! Grenade out!
Amiens is ours. Your heroes, every man jack of you, all working together.